Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're a beginner and you're working with fondant for the first time, or for maybe you're not very experienced with fondant and you want to try it out, and you have problems with your fondant being too sticky or too wet, yes, I'm making this video specifically for you if your fondant is too wet or too sticky. So first things first, I need you to know that whether you're buying an already made fondant or you're making it by yourself, you want to make sure, if you're making it by yourself, you have a really awesome recipe. And if you're buying it, you want to make sure you're buying a good quality fondant, so you know that your fondant is wet and sticky, not because it is not well made, or maybe it doesn't have good composition. You're working with good fondant basically. So today I'm going to be giving you a few reasons why your fondants might be wet and sticky, and how to fix the problem so you can have perfectly frosted cake every single time. Okay, so first things first is maybe your kitchen is too warm. Yeah, if your kitchen is too warm, it's going to make you even sweat. So while you work with the fondant, it's going to increase its stickiness. Plus, when your kitchen is too warm, there might be too much heat. Of course, it is wet, so it is going to make your fondant a lot sticky and wet. Another thing that can make your kitchen too warm is if you are baking while you're working with fondant. Of course, when you're baking, there is more heat in the kitchen because the oven generates heat. So you want to make sure you're working with fondant when you are not baking. And a way to fix that, if maybe you have to bake and work with fondant, is if you have an air conditioner, yeah, you can simply turn it on. And another thing is, some people have a thermostat in their houses that make their houses really warm, so you can turn that down a little to reduce the heat in your kitchen. Or better still, if you have a standing fan, just take it into your kitchen and turn it on. The fixes are very simple basically. So take your standing fan into your kitchen and turn it on and open the window, so that kind of fixes the problem for you almost immediately. Okay, so if your kitchen is too warm, I hope that helps you. So number two is if there is too much humidity in the air. This is not your fault basically. It's not your fault the air is humid, you can't control that. And the only way to fix that is to get an air humidifier. You can buy that on eBay, you can buy that online basically, and they're very cheap. They're very portable, cheap ones. And if you'd like to buy one of those, I have a link in the description box below for you to buy a really nice one. And one thing I find personally is that if you don't have an air humidifier and your kitchen is so humid, maybe you live in a humid environment, you can try baking, you can try working with fondant at night. I find that when you work at night, the air is less humid at night. So if you have fondant work to do, it's best you do it at night if you live in a humid environment. Okay, so that's been done. Number three is maybe when you're coloring your fondant, you are using liquid food coloring. I've said it in a dozen videos on this channel. When you're working with fondant, use gel food coloring, or better still, use powdered food coloring. The reason is because the liquid food coloring adds some quantity of water into your fondant, which kind of changes the consistency, so it makes it a little bit wetter. Is wetter a word? Yeah, it just makes it a little bit wetter and stickier than usual. So use gel food coloring. Okay, so the way to fix the problem is basically to use powdered food coloring or use gel food coloring. Never use liquid food coloring to color fondant, of course, except you're using very little, of course. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is where you live. Yeah, climate matters a lot. So the kind of fondant you buy, or where you live, and what the region is like. If you live in the tropics, of course the air is humid in the tropics, so when you're rolling out your fondant, I advise you to use cornstarch or potato starch. That's because that absorbs fluid and will make it a lot easier for you to work with. But if you live in the arid regions are places like deserts and places with very dry air and very low humidity, I advise you in places like that to use icing sugar, because the thing with icing sugar is sugar has water in it. Yes, I know that doesn't make sense, but think about it. If you put sugar on heat, it starts to melt and becomes liquid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So sugar kind of when you increase the temperature, it becomes liquidy, if that makes sense. So if you live in an arid region, when you're rolling out your fondant, you want to use icing sugar, because that kind of helps you increase the, how to explain it, the humidity in your fondant, and helps you get a better consistency. So if you live in a region that is not arid, it is not very humid like the tropics, just use a combination of icing sugar and cornstarch. So I hope this video really helps you. I hope this video is useful to you, and if you try out these tips, be sure to leave me a comment in the comment section below, and please give me a thumbs up underneath this video right now. I'd really appreciate it. So please guys, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notification for you to get notified every time I post something new. And could you please follow me on Instagram? I'm on Instagram as _CAKEMEAWAY. There are 2 underscores before CAKEMEAWAY. Yes guys, so thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed my video, because I absolutely enjoy making these videos for you guys. It's fun actually. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my future videos. Thank you.